This looks so dry. Oh my God. Off. I don't know what's going on there. Y'all just heard Demon Slayer? Oops. Oops. Hey, shout out to y'all for being up in here. I don't think there's anybody in here yet, so hey. What's going on, world? What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? It is Monday and it is 5:43. I'm usually a little late. I'm sorry, I'm usually like really on time when I'm doing this stuff. But I think I'm going to be on here for a little bit. See what everybody has going on. You know, want to see how everybody's weekend was. So waiting for people to pop up in here. Once people start popping in, we will, we'll start having all those questions. Hey. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great weekend. Welcome. Today is Monday, the 7th, I think. Yeah, the 7th of August. Hope everybody's doing all right. Let people kind of just bring themselves up in here. See how everybody's doing. I'm in a little bit of a different type of attire right now. Mostly it's because I had to do some military stuff and, had to do some type of working out. And this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at right now. So shout out to everybody being up in here. So if you are just now joining, for all, I don't know how many people are in here now. It looks like 4 or 2 or 0 or whatever. I'll just talk to myself. There's not drugs for that or whatever. But anyways, if you're just now joining, my name is Kevin. I go by the Boot Nurse on all social media platforms. Welcome to the live stream. We usually do these live streams every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, anywhere between like 5:30-ish. I started a little bit late today until, essentially like an hour and a half-ish. I'll do it for about 2 hours. I usually get held hostage by everybody that's asking all these questions down there. So that's y'all's fault. But usually what we do here, I want to know who you are, where you're from, where you're at in your nursing journey, what questions you guys have. Have you taken the NCLEX? Are you going to take the NCLEX? Have you taken it multiple times? Are you a brand new student? Are you a pre-nursing student? Do you have any questions about getting into nursing school? Usually that's how stuff goes. My co-host, she is not here today. Actually, I have multiple co-hosts that decided to jump in and hit up the chat. So they're not here yet, but when they jump up in here, then we'll introduce them. So, hey, if you're here, I appreciate you guys being here. So let me know all those things. I want to know who you are, where you're from, where you're at in your nursing journey. Let me know down in the comments. Let's stir up a conversation and let's chit chat about it. Make sure you guys smash that like button. I want to see nothing but love hitting up the right side of this chat. All right. And if you or anybody else need help with NCLEX, and the NCLEX, for those that don't know, is the licensing exam for nurses, RNs, or LPNs. Check out the 7-day NCLEX course. That link is in my bio. It is currently in the pre-launch phase, which means that it is not complete yet. It is consistently growing, and we're consistently adding to it, but for $48. So it's for $48 right now until it's complete. But once you get it forever. So it's there. So make sure you guys check that out. And hey, if it doesn't work for you, that's cool. Send it to somebody else. So it's really perfect for those individuals that are just now starting nursing school, because you guys are going to be in nursing school for a year, 2 years, up to 4 years. And so by the time you get to taking your NCLEX, that NCLEX course will be well finished. So make sure you guys check that out. Hey, and if it's not for you, share it with somebody else. You never know who it could work for. So Melissa said, I'm 30 in Central California studying for the T's. Shout out to you, Melissa. That's my sister's name. So I'm assuming you're trying to do the T's. Are you doing the T's entrance exam? Or are you doing the T's like exit exam, like to try to graduate or to finish up your class? Let us know. So yeah, hey, Melissa ain't shy to talk to us up in here. So hey, all 14 people that are up in here, or 15 or 20, or there's not 20 people in here. But for all of y'all, hey, let us know where you guys are from. Let's stir up a conversation. And if you're new here, once again, my name is Kevin. I have been a nurse for a little over 3 years, and I have worked in the ICU. I have worked in the PACU, and I also have worked in the operating room. That's currently where I work at right now. And I enjoy teaching. I was an educator while I was active duty in the military, and I'm actually in the reserves right now, and I still teach. So I got a little bit of experience when it comes to teaching, and a little bit of experience when it comes to that nursing aspect. But it's like when you learn nursing, once you get it for like the first couple of years, you're not saying that you're an expert, but it's like you become very familiar about all the things that are happening. So let's see what you guys are talking about. What are y'all talking about? We're just talking. Who is that? Is that Colleen, or hopefully I said your name right. I probably butchered it, but my bad. We're just talking about nursing stuff. Talking about nursing, NCLEX, essentially anything you guys want to talk about. Hey, forgive this hair, like it's looking all kind of crazy right now. So, advice on the prereq journey. So. This one for Colleen. I feel like I'm selling your name wrong, but my advice for the prereq journey is, number one, you need to know what your prereqs are. Once you figure out what your prereqs are, that's based off of what school you decide that you want to go to, because every school has different prereqs. However, they all usually have the same prereqs. So like A&P 1 and 2, micro, chemistry, nutrition, human growth and development, college algebra, statistics, some type of elective like sociology, psychology, stuff like that. So you got to know what the prerequisites that the nursing program wants for you to have. So some nursing programs want you to have, those, and then some of them want you to have those and plus like 5 or 10 more. Like it all just depends. So you just really got to look up what the prerequisites are for the schools that you're looking to attend to. I put in for a local community college for their associate's nursery tour on Wednesday. Okay. So shout out to you. I really hope that you get it. I can tell you right now, like the community colleges, like they're getting flooded with people that want to go that route. And honestly, I wish I could have done that route if I would have known about it. I didn't even know when I was doing my nursing journey, when I was trying to become a nurse, didn't even know that they had an associate's degree route. But I didn't know that until after I got my bachelor's. Main reason why I got my bachelor's is because I was trying to become a commissioned officer in the Navy, and they only take bachelor's degree nurses. So I didn't even think about that. But I mean, I could have went to the associate's degree route, gotten into the nursing field and working like a whole 2 years prior, and then worked online and got my bachelor's degree with already 2 years of experience by the time I decided I wanted to join the Navy. But I didn't even know that was a thing. So hindsight's 2020. You don't know what you don't know. Now I know it, so I'm telling y'all. How's everything going? Who's that? Jimmy. How's everything going? I'm from the first state. I don't know what that means. Like Massachusetts? Is that the first state? No, it's Virginia. Virginia's the first state. See, I don't know. I already forgot history. That's crazy. Prerequisites for AS, I'm assuming you mean for like an associate's degree? It's the science classes that are so hard. I got a D in chem. Look, hey, so chemistry, I can tell you right now, that was not my favorite class, like at all. So I actually had to get tutoring for chemistry. And another way that you could think about that is I think that website, Rate My Professor, is still out there, and it's great for community college. So look at Rate My Professor. If you didn't use that, that's a really good tool. Use that for and finding out a good chemistry teacher. Now, here's something else. A lot of people will be like, "Hey, how in the world, or what should my grades look like when I'm trying to apply for nursing school?" So this is what I try to tell people. You want to strive for A's. B's are okay. C's are not okay. But I have seen and heard people getting C's in certain classes and still getting into nursing school. Usually the nursing school application process, it's based off of like a point system. So, the higher you have your grades, the higher that you get the points. When you have volunteer work and the volunteer work has to be towards something like in the healthcare, like if you volunteer at a hospital or something, you get additional points for that, your personal statement, all that good jazz. So chemistry I was not fond of that one at all. Delaware, oh my God, that's right, because you keep telling me to go there, Jimmy. Jimmy, I'm not going to Delaware. There's nothing there. It's tiny, except for like maybe tax benefits if I open up a business. I do know that. So I'm a GS employee, but I'm not gonna leave because they pay way too low. What do you mean? The GS employee, what do you mean? Don't let it stop you. Retake the class. Maybe it's maybe in the summer and look up a teacher. Exactly. Hospital by me will hire with an associate degree. Then they give you time to set up for your bachelor's. Most places, most hospitals nowadays, for those that have an associate's degree, they'll be like, "Hey, what is your plan to get a bachelor's?" Because the whole point, there was an initiative. I believe it was like Nurse 20. It was Nurse 2020, I think, at one point, then 2025, and now who knows what it is. But essentially, they wanted to have at least They wanted to have at least, I think, 80% of their RNs to be BSNs, because the more BSNs that they have, They can become like a magnet hospital. I'm not exactly sure how all the nuances of it, but essentially that's what they were striving for. Then COVID happened and it fucked all of that up. I'm sorry if I said the F word and that offended you. My bad. I'm sorry. There's a lot of this that comes out, but then I'm being very, very honest. And then if you're not a nurse and if you don't say curse words, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, like, if you're not a person that doesn't like curse words, when you become a nurse, I'm trying to tell you, nurses got some filthy mouths, straight up. Women, y'all are bad, let me tell you. I'm just saying. Hey, shout out to all 32 people up in here. Hey, make sure you guys like this stream. The more you like it, the more you share it, the more it gets to more people. You have no idea how helpful it could be. So make sure you do it. Like, I love you. All right, so what's going on? Let's see what else is going on here. Retaking it in the fall, 2 weeks. Okay, I thought it's lottery based now. Now to make it fair. To be honest, Colleen, I'm not really sure how it goes, because when I went to nursing school, it was very different. Like, I went to nursing school in 2017, pre-COVID, before any of that not saying nonsense, but any of that stuff started to happen. But you're going to do fine when you take chemistry. Chemistry is hard. Like, chemistry, you do a lot of math and then a lot of science. I ain't all about the math. Like, me and math, we don't get along well. Me and dosage calculations barely got along well, but me and dosage calculations, we make it work. But not with chemistry. I never understood. A&P, loved. Pathophysiology, which was a prereq for me, loved. Micro, loved. Chemistry, not a fan. Statistics, I thought it was a pointless class. Algebra, but A&P, I loved. Like, I taking A&P was exactly like taking like anatomy or whatever in high school. Some hospitals will pay for you to get your BSN if you have an associate's. Yes, they will. They have like that tuition reimbursement, but with that one, you have to like give back time. Like, you have to pay them back time, if that makes sense. So, going to nursing school. That's right. If I don't get into the program, I'm looking to go into the Navy. Wait. If I don't get into the program, I'm looking at going into the Navy as a corpsman or contractor. Okay, Mr. Guy. So here's what I'm really going to tell you. And I say this specifically to you, since you said something about going into the Navy to be a corpsman. Here's my thing to you. Do you want to be a corpsman or do you want to be a nurse? That's my question to you. And there's nothing wrong with going to be a corpsman. I've been a corpsman for next month it'll be 16 years. I've been a corpsman because I'm in the reserves now, so I still work as a corpsman. So I've been a corpsman for my entire naval career. The question is, do you want to be a corpsman or do you want to be a nurse? And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with going to be a corpsman, but if you go to be a corpsman, there's all that time that you're going to get, and then there's all that time you're going to owe back to the Navy, and then it's going to be like, okay, you could have used all that time instead of doing that to go to nursing school and then come into the military as a naval officer. Hey, look, that's just my suggestion. Hindsight's 2020. You don't know what you don't know, but if I knew what I knew, then I would have taken things differently. So that's why I lay those things out there. You graduated in December. You just took your NCLEX. A little bit. Oh, yeah, that's right. You did say you took your NCLEX. I'm going to find a way to cheat. Just kidding, but not really. Look, it's really funny because in academia, and I say academia as in when you're in school, they say that you can't cheat because cheating is wrong. But when you come out here and you're trying to learn things through life, or if you become a business owner, you're expected to see like how people do it. Like, they lay out a blueprint for you to follow for that exact reason. So, I mean, it's just like, think about Apple and think about Microsoft. They both like feed off of one another. So it's just like, do they cheat? They have things that make them different, but I guess. But look, you do you. I ain't gonna knock you for what you're trying to do. Hey, because it's hard out here. I'm taking pathophysiology in the fall. Melissa, I like patho. Like, honestly, patho was, the disease processes and how they affect the body. Like, that right there in a nutshell is when you get into nursing school, or when you're in nursing school, like, that's essentially what it is. It's like, hey, what's the disease process? Okay, cool. How can I take care of them from beginning to end? To me, I thought patho was great. Do you know anything about GS positions since you was in the military? I do know about GS positions. I'm not too privy on them. I mean, I don't know like so much about them, but I know a bunch of my friends that got out of the military that are GSs now. Some work at the VA, some work at the military hospital. Most of the time with the GS positions, they want you to have at least like a year or 2 years of nursing experience. And to get a government position, it usually like the application process can take anywhere as low as 3 months to like up to a year. It all just depends because they only have a certain amount of positions and a certain amount of slots. And so like, and And if you're not one of those people that meet that criteria, you're just gonna slough off. And they actually have a program, like when you submit your resume, certain things have to be put in a certain order. If not, they won't even look at your resume. So if you applied for a position, or if you know somebody, like you have to have somebody kind of guide you through that process. But I do know a lot of people that do it. I personally didn't go the GS route. I could have went to the VA, and I could have went to the military hospital here, but it's just like I don't know if I want to have to go through that whole process. So, and plus I live far away from both of them, and I was like, bro, I don't feel like driving. I'm going into my third semester out of 5 in the accelerated nursing program. Shout out to you, user 7177. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you know who you are. So you're more than halfway there. You're 60%. You're going into your third semester, 60%. So you're past the halfway point. You're past the halfway point of this marathon. So your last point, like the last part, the heart, it's like you can see it. You're going downhill and you can see the finish line down at the bottom. So you're going down here, you're almost to the finish line, so you think, but you're almost there. So don't stop. Keep going. Stats. I don't know it's a different language. I don't know what it is, but it says 228. I don't know exactly what you're saying. So, sorry, my bad. Micro was my favorite, and I got an A, so I'm looking forward to Patho. Oh yeah, I love micro too. I got an A in that one too. And like I said, if you need a really good, if you're trying to look for a good instructor when it comes to Patho, definitely look into Rate My Professor, because that's how I found my Patho instructor. If I can get into a 4-year program, I'd rather try going in as an officer instead of as a corpsman. Okay, I see what you're saying. But then you got to also think, if you get into that 2-year, you get into the 2-year program at an associate's degree. After you get your associate's degree, you go and work. So there goes another 2 years, right? On top of working for those 2 years, you're working for your bachelor's. Boom, you get your bachelor's at the end of that 4-year. You see what I'm saying? Like, now you have the experience that the Navy's going to want. You can kind of leverage, but you would have already got your associate's degree, worked. While you were working, you getting your bachelor's degree, you still work, you apply for a direct commission, you go in as an officer. So, guy, that's my opinion. I'm a GS, but the pay is so low. What kind of GS are you? And if you're I know for certain GSs, like if you're a GS6, or like a 7, or I think like an 8 or a 9, like maybe not so much. As a nurse with a bachelor's degree with experience, they're hiring them at GS12s right now. Like one of my buddies who I worked at a hospital, he just got a job at the VA, and they're starting him off at the GS12 Step 2, and that's at $102,000 a year, right? Most people go to the VA because it's a safe job. That's what they consider. And because with the VA, once you're in that system, you're in it. But it's the benefits that people go for. I mean, there's other companies out here that have just as great as benefits, but I mean, when you're like a government worker, you already know, working as a GS, you already know what's up with the benefits. So, y'all like micro? How? I don't know. I just like micro. GS5? Well, no wonder. That's why you feel the way that you feel, is because you're a GS5. I don't know exactly what you do as a GS5, so I know they have different steps. You could be a GS5 step 45 or whatever. You can put a little bit more. So, what was the most difficult thing during your time in nursing school? Oh, Melissa, the most difficult time, there's, I don't know if I can narrow it down to just one, but the most difficult time was time, feeling like you didn't have enough. Like you get so overloaded with information, and now you got to manage your time. And then if you have kids, you got to figure out what to do with them. If you have a wife or a kid or a husband, you got to figure out what to do with them, on top of if you have a job. And, your social life, so you got to, when you start nursing school is nursing school is at the front of everything, sometimes to include your family, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of people are just I put my family over everything, but it's just you have to, there's a lot of time management and prioritization that happens. So the most difficult thing, honestly, was just feeling like you didn't have enough time to do anything. That's just me. But I mean, everything from learning different ways, unlearning different things because of just specifically for me, for my background, it was just a lot. So I would definitely say the time management. Pennies. Oh yeah, I know it. Do you know if you can apply for multiple ADN programs at a time to increase? Yeah, absolutely. Is that Christina? Christina, yeah, you 100% you can apply for as many programs as you want. They don't talk to one another. Like if you're trying to go to, University of Texas in Austin, and then you're trying to go to Texas A&M in Corpus Christi, they're not going to be like, hey, she's talking to us, right? It ain't like that. It ain't like that at all. So you can apply for as many as you want. Do they put LVNs in the OR or just RNs? At my hospital, it's just RNs that I've seen. However, depending on the hospital, I think like at level 1 trauma facilities, I've seen LVNs in there. Did you work while you were in school? Yes, Christina, I did. I was full-time active duty, so I worked every day. And so not only was I active duty, but I was actually a surgical tech instructor. So I was teaching while I was in school. So I worked full-time. And I not only did I have to do the job of teaching, but I still had other military obligations like PT and other leadership aspects that I had to do. And so I did a lot. I did a lot of that. I'm starting in a few weeks trying to determine if I can work. So you can work. You definitely can work. But it definitely takes some finessing because some people just can't quit working, So, and this is for is it EBS? Just EBS. Some people can't quit their jobs, some people aren't afforded that opportunity to do that. So, I mean, if you can quit your job and then not put you in a bind to do anything like that, I would recommend it because you get all that time that you would be at work, for you could be at home and you could study or go to the library or do study sessions or do whatever, So, Lamington, what's up with you? How are you? What would you say is the max amount of loans you should take out? 15 to 20K too much? I'm not a big loan guy because I say I was blessed because all of my education was paid for, but I had to pay for that. If I had to pay for it at the beginning when I joined the military, and then I have to pay for it with the way that my body feels at the age of 35 and the way that I feel mentally. So, it all just depends on you financially. Me, I would never tell anybody to take out loans unless it was a last resort. Like you have to really, 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 really want to go to do these things because debt is no joke, especially whatever's going on, like with the loan or the debt repayment and all that other good stuff. So you have to really take a step back and think about like, hey, I'm about to be in a lot of student loan debt. Granted, once you come out here and work as a nurse and you get those skills down, you can find those high paying jobs and travel to where you can start to pay them off. So that all just depends on you financially. I can't really give you an answer. Would you recommend working part-time or just taking out loans? I would recommend doing what you feel is best for you. Because personally, Lamington, I don't know your situation. I don't know how things are financially. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't pretend to be. I just tell people based off of my experience and what it went for me. But if you could work part-time, cool. I would say do whatever you could do without taking out loans because you're going to end up having to pay them back anyway. So if you could work part-time to kind of alleviate that, cool. What a lot of people do is that they'll work part-time in a hospital so they can get that experience, or they can work as like a nurse extern. So that way they're getting the nursing experience while they're in nursing school. That actually helps with their skills as well as help with the knowledge and put some money in your pocket. Who is that? Eb says, I applied to 3 and got into 2. Cool. So you applied to 3 schools and you applied to 3 schools and you got to look, what is that? 66%. Like I said, y'all already know I ain't good at math like that, but I'm pretty sure I did those numbers right. But you got into 2 schools. That's awesome. So now it's just like, which one's more beneficial for you? You know what I mean? There's more than one way to skin a cat. Lamington, you're very welcome. Oh, snap. Lakin's in the building, y'all. Hey, queen of asking me questions. Lakin is here. So Lakin, you might, since you're, like pretty much really good about showing up to all these lives, I should just make you a co-host. But welcome, Lakin. Thanks for coming to the live. Make sure you guys share this live. Let everybody know that we're doing this and we're trying to foster a great environment for nurses and nurses alike and pre-nursing students. So that's what I love to do. That's why I'm here. If you're just now joining the live, my name is Kevin. I go by the Boot Nurse on all social media platforms. Just my shameless plug that I like throwing in here. I want you guys to go over there. Make sure you guys follow me. Do all that stuff. If you or anybody else you know is preparing for NCLEX, you guys can check out the 7-day NCLEX course. The link is in my bio. It's going for $48. Also know that it is in the pre-launch phase. The pre-launch phase means that it is continuously there's material being added to it all the time. As a matter of fact, I just uploaded 2 videos and one is live right now. It is the legal rights and the responsibilities of a nurse, with some examples from Radonda Vaughn and a couple of other nurses that did some stuff, that got them in legal hot water. And of course, once you become a nurse, that license is very much a legal thing that they will snatch from you if you're doing it wrong. So, like I said, it's on-growing content. New generation NCLEX or next generation NCLEX questions and answers are coming. Q&A is coming. Remember, I'm a one-man army, so we're trying to make this work. And we're going to make it work. So I appreciate anybody who has purchased it. Creating the best NCLEX course out there. I can promise you that. So make sure you guys go check that out. But here's something I want to know about y'all. I want to know who you are, where you're from, where you're at in your nursing journey. Are you pre-nursing? NCLEX journey. Are you already a nurse that's out there doing your thing? Do you have anything, positive to tell everybody? What to look out for, how to best, protect yourself, what different avenues you went in nursing. That's the stuff that I want to know. I want you guys to drop it down in the comments. Make sure you guys smash that like button too. I want to see all the hearts coming up over here on the right side. You already got me at 2,400 likes. So I appreciate everybody that's liking my ugly face that's going on right now. Like this light shining. I don't like it. I mean, it's kind of all right. I got some y'all can't really see him, but I got some gray hairs up in here. Your boy looking kind of rough right now, but I appreciate everybody. So what y'all doing? Talk to me. Let's see what's going on. Now, would this be something I can start to study since I'm fixing to start my prereqs? What do you mean? Like talking to me? 100%. 100%, Lakin. DFW. Okay, so shout out to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Shout out to you. Pre-nursing grandmother. Okay, we ain't say nothing about your age because your degree don't got your age on it. Your nursing license don't got your age on it. And I would have never known that unless you told me. Just ebbs. So think about that. We don't care if that you're a grandma. We just care that you're here. And you probably have been wanting to do this for a long time. And guess what? It's about to happen. It's about to happen for you. All right. So remember, age is not a number. Just because you're a grandmother don't mean doesn't mean that you can't do this. All right. D from MI. What is MI again? Is that Missouri? That's Missouri, right? That's Missouri, right, D? Okay. I'm just gonna assume until you put that answer that's Missouri. Level 1 ED nurse. Shout out to you. Shout out to my my ER nurse. Michigan. See, look, I'm already messing up. Missouri's MS, ain't it? MI, MS, MS. Look, I'm figuring my life out, D. Thanks for clarifying. That's from Michigan. Okay, I got you. But shout out to my ED nurses. Hey, ED nurses like they like controlled chaos. Get them stable and get them out. Get them stable, get them out. That's what they're about. That should be a slogan for y'all, for real. The NCLEX study book that you have put together, but yes, to always join. And yes, so Lakin, since you're a pre-nursing student and you haven't gotten into your nursing program yet, for $48 for you to get a whole program that's going to have all the content that you're going to need on top of the NCLEX style questions, and all the other things that we have, like trying to work up to that, with a live Q&A, like it's a no-brainer for you, straight up. And the million questions you can ask and you get all that for free. You can get all that whenever. But yeah, I think it would be beneficial for somebody specifically like you. LPN from PA. Looking to find an RN program to bridge. Hey, so since you're an LPN, I don't know if it works for Pennsylvania, but look up Western Governors University. They actually have an LPN to a RN bridge, I believe. But yeah, look those up. Look those up, Christina. MO is Missouri. Okay, MO. Okay, all right. MS is look. Apparently geographically with the United States, I don't know what the initials are. LA, unless it's TX. Sorry. Just saying. You hear me say Texas time because I don't know what other times exist out there. Let me stop. That's just like me saying people say I'm delusional because I'm from Texas and I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm not, ever. Okay? Not delusional. Y'all leave me alone. I love y'all. Make sure y'all like this. Anyways, so any advice for NCLEX takers who get near passing on every section? Well, Queen, I got something for you. Give me a second. Whoop. So, since Queen decided to ask me a question about an NCLEX breakdown, I'm going to show you what mine looks like. Hello. So, here we go. Hey, straight up. Hey, for real Cowboys. Hey, we're going to the Super Bowl. I don't care what nobody says. Anyways, so this one's for Queen. Is it Queen Nari? You said Western Governors. Where's that located? So, just go online and you can look it up, and they have online programs. So, and I'm glad you're actually, I think, Queen, you're the first person to ask me what you should do, right? So I don't know if this looks familiar to you, but this one's mine. Where it says, see where it says below passing, it's backwards, but you see where it says below passing, below, 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 above, below, near, right? That was my very first one. So here's my suggestion to you, Queen, since that's what you got. Whatever, if you had near passing on everything, that means that if this was the passing line, you were doing this. Like you were above, below it, above, below it, above, below it, right? So I think that however you were studying, increase the time and the amount that you study, right? But then there's those other nuances that we don't necessarily know about. Like, what does your time management look like, right? Did you recreate the testing center? Like, you already know if you've been there and you're a retaker, you already know what the testing center looks like. So now you can just recreate it. What about your time management? Like, how often did you study? What program did you use to study? And this isn't a plug for me, but it's like, what program did you use? Did you use like UWorld, Mark Klimic? Did you use Picmonic? Did you use Remar? Did you use Registered Nurse RN? What is Kaplan, UWorld, Archer? Did you use those? Did you use them effectively? Right? Did you hang out in those sections? Did you start with the difficult sections and then go to the ones that were less difficult, like AKA the ones that you know a lot better? Like, and I don't necessarily have to say a support system, but do you have people that are supportive of you of the endeavors that you're doing? You know, how are you with understanding content? Are you able to understand content and apply it to NCLEX style questions? Do you understand truly what the question is asking you? Do you understand like delegation? Who can do what you're responsible for, when you need to take responsibility from something else that you gave to someone else? Do you have those understandings? So me as an NCLEX retaker, because I've taken the NCLEX exam 3 times and I passed on the 4th. Nobody ever would know that unless I specifically told you. And everybody can attest to that. I've worked as a nurse for 3 years and I tell people, I was like, yeah, I failed the NCLEX 4 times. They're like, what? Like, no one ever knows that. No one ever cares unless you actively want to tell people. I love telling people because then the true colors about them kind of come out. They're going to be like, some people have literally gave me looks that were just like, I can't believe they let you be a nurse by you failing it so many times. But that test doesn't determine what type of nurse that you're going to be. The NCLEX is a standard. It's a basic standard of safety. And there were just things that I didn't understand. On the 4th time, it clicked. So it took 4 times for it to click, but it eventually clicked. So those would be my suggestions to you, Queen. And I hope that answered your question. Yes, turn and burn is our motto. However, we have been boarding admit holds. Yeah, because I don't know about y'all, but locally here, we've had an uptick in COVID, Nurse D. So that's been happening as well. Western Governors, it's an online school. Yeah, Lakin, it's an online school. You let her know. Also, look in Indiana State University for LPN Bridge program. That's online, I've heard. Okay, awesome. Indiana. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, exactly. Thank you. That helps a lot. I'm glad, Queen. I'm glad that helped a lot. So shout out to all 11 people that are up in here. Hey, I want to know. I want to know what y'all got going on. I want to know where y'all are at in y'all's journey. You know, usually I'm on here a lot earlier and usually I have a lot more people, but I think it's because they got the case of the Mondays and they don't want to be here and they don't want to talk to me. And that's cool. I'm going to find you somewhere else. And then you're going to be like, hey, Kevin, I was there. I'm like, you lying to me. You lying. I love y'all. Make sure y'all like that button. All right. So there's been a lot of things that have been going on, essentially kind of like in the nursing world. A lot of things I want to talk about. So we talked about a couple things last time where we like something like Whoa Vicky, homegirl that's on like social media talking about being a nurse. But I'm pretty sure that's kind of like satire and people may not believe it. But one place, and I don't get sponsored by these people at all, that I believe that all nurses should be a part of or at least have bookmarked somewhere on their phone is nurse.org. If you want to know anything about different career paths, if you want to know about different programs, if you want to know about different degrees, salaries, jobs, resources to include scholarships so you don't take out all those loans, look at nurse.org. Like, they got so much. And on top of that, they have a lot of just a whole bunch of different resources on top of news that they talk about. Like right now, today's the 7th. So some of the news articles I see right here, it says how to become an aesthetic nurse, like the ones that give Botox and lip injections and lip fillers, stuff that I don't have a problem with. But like they have an article right here on how to become that kind of nurse. They have another one, the 15 highest paying nursing jobs in 2023. CRNA school state by state, the top 50 CRNA programs of 2023. How to become a CRNA. They even have they have reviews on nursing shoes, so on and so forth. So that's definitely one of those one of these websites that everybody should look at and be a part of. So yeah, I'm going to talk about a couple of these things that just popped off, but I am going to see what you guys are talking about. Tapping in. Hey, shout out to you, Army Wife. Thank you for joining us. You're kind of late. I'm a little sad about that, but it's okay. I was late too when I got here, so I appreciate you tapping in and letting everybody know what's up. So welcome. I'm about to take the NGN NCLEX exam. What do you recommend using, UWorld or Archer? Well, that depends on you, Jesus. That depends on you specifically. So with UWorld, you only really get questions and rationales, and that's the last that I checked. You get questions, rationales, and I believe you get 2 assessments, and they essentially tell you like, hey, what's the likelihood of you passing your NCLEX? And that's fine. I used UWorld, but it wasn't what I needed because I needed stuff more in depth. UWorld is a great test bank if you have a great understanding of content. I actually did a video it's on my TikTok, it's on my Instagram, it's on the Boot Nation Facebook. You guys can check that out as well. And I talked about UWorld, and I think UWorld is great if you have a great understanding of content. If you don't have a great understanding of content, and you don't know how to, and if you don't have a great understanding of content, you will have a difficult time trying to answer the questions because you'll be like, man, I don't remember what that is, or I've never seen that before in my life. Then UWorld may not be for you. Now with Archer, they give you the Q&A. I mean, they give you the new generation NCLEX style questions, but they also provide content. They also do the rationales. And I think Archer is a little bit cheaper. Last I checked, I think it's like $89. And I think you get it for like 60 days or something like that. But it all depends on you. Do you want to use UWorld or do you want to use Archer? Both are beneficial. It all just depends on where you are in your studying, how capable you feel at it. Some people say, like, I can tell you right now, I remember when I used UWorld and I remember seeing like 5 or 6 questions that were on UWorld that were exactly on the NCLEX. But you're going to spend maybe like over $200 to have like a 6 month, a 2 to 3 month type of subscription versus in Archer, it's a little bit lower, but their questions are pretty good too. So it all just depends on you. What's your favorite scrubs off topic? I mean, I guess it's not really off topic because we're still talking about nursing and it has all that stuff to do with it. But, I honestly forgot which one I had. Like, there's a lot of different like scrubs that are out there. Like, I'm not a fig person. Like, figs are like the top tier ones, but they're overrated. They're kind of like iPhones. They're overrated. Yeah, I said it. Sorry. I said it. iPhone. And Lakin, you look like you own an iPhone, don't you? You own an iPhone, don't you? Anyways, but my scrubs were something different. But they had fig. They have the Grey's Anatomy ones. They have Infinity. They have all different types. I really don't care as long as they feel comfortable. Like, I have broad shoulders, so some of them are kind of tight under the arms. So essentially anything that can just kind of alleviate all the tightness. Like, cause dudes like to walk around, not dudes, but everybody likes to walk around with tight ass scrubs on because, we want to show off figures. Just saying. But anything essentially that's kind of loose, like around, like under my arms and on my shoulders, and my backside because, I'm hauling a truck back here. So, MedSurg 1 and Pediatrics final exam on Wednesday. I'm ready. You damn right you're ready. And keep saying it, Junior. Keep saying that you're ready. Keep saying that you're ready. Keep that positivity out there. Keep speaking it into existence because the more you speak it into the existence, it shall be so. It shall be so. I'm stranded in Kentucky until tomorrow. Ew. Why? Why are you stranded there? What is your typical schedule for work? Yeah, I knew you had an iPhone. See, you can't be hiding stuff from me. It depends. A lot of people like working 12s. I work 12s, like my first year of nursing, and I was just like, it's ghetto. I don't like it. But then I started working 8s, and I was just like, this is also ghetto. Uh, so I kind of have a love-hate relationship with schedules. So I guess my ideal schedule right now would be my 8s. So that's where I'm at right now. For those who left bedside, are you worried about losing skills or not staying up to date? Is that question to me? It doesn't even matter because I'm going to answer it right now. You can leave bedside. Of course, you're going to lose those skills. You and I both know that. But it's just like riding a bike. If you decided to jump back into it, you never really lose them at all. So, yeah, you never really lose them. Everyone who may have left. Oh, there was actually, who was it? I think there was one person in here the last stream that we had, and they were like 70 years old, retired, and they were like, I'm thinking of coming back. And we're like, why? Why would you retire and come back? Like, no, don't do that to yourself. Go off into the sunset. Go off into the sunset and do your thing. I'm pretty basic. I've been told my whole life. Well, you said it, not me. You like pumpkins? Hey, you like pumpkin spice lattes? Hey, season's coming up. Hey, so if you ever get the chance, go to my YouTube and look at my Picmonic review. Hey, if you're all about Starbies, because that's all I hear at work, yeah, go ahead and check that video out. The review is I'm actually pretty proud of myself on how I edited and I did that video. So yeah, definitely check that out. But I can tell you right now that I am working towards leaving bedside because I realized where my passion was, and my passion is teaching. Like, I really thoroughly love teaching. I actually got approached about doing an adjunct position at one of the local nursing schools, and it's about a 98% chance that I'm going to take it because it gets me back into the education realm to teaching students how to get there. So I definitely love teaching, and that's what I'm going to go get my master's degree in and all that good stuff. So, will I lose my skills? Probably, but not so much. It's just, like I said, it's just like riding a bike, and it'll all come back to you. You know what I mean? 17 years in corrections, Monday through Friday, no weekends, no holidays, 6 to 2. Absolutely love. Nor would I change it. 17 years in corrections, Monday through Friday. You never work weekends. You never worked holidays. 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. Hey, I'm not even going to lie to you. I like that. That's good. I ain't even mad at you, to be honest. But the only thing is about corrections. I'm cool. I already know that's a different world, and that's a world that I ain't even try to be a part of. Yeah, that's what I said, 62. I heard you. Nurse Cass, 1980. Ma'am, I seen what you put. I saw you. But it's corrections. I can't do it. I love pumpkin spice, Starbies, and oh my God. Stop. Just stop talking. Just. I said 2 a.m. Hey, look, I'm sorry. I ain't mean that. My bad. I say, look, you know what I meant. Hey, just for that, hey, I want 1,000 likes from you right now since you want to correct me since it's 2 a.m. Ma'am, you know what I talked about. Okay? All right? But corrections, hey, you better than me. I'm telling you that right now. And Lakin, look, I cannot with you, Lakin. I cannot. Army wife, RN, what did you say? I left bedside, but I'm kind of worried about missing out on all those skills. So you want to know the great thing about being a nurse, and you already know this, so this is just redundant for me to say this, but you can always go back. You can always go PRN. You can always go and do those things. But you want to know the great thing? That's why I tell people, the great thing about nursing? It's not going anywhere. Just like when people ask me about the military, why would you get out? Or I'm thinking about joining the military, but, I want to finish school first. I was like, guess what? Military ain't going nowhere. Trust and believe me, the military is there for you when you want it. Trust me, when you have all the credentials and all the skills, they will take you. 100%. They will take you. 2 a.m. I would prefer 12s. I worked as a CO and would have to pull 16 to 20 hours. Now that was draining, 6 on and 3 off. Like you worked as a corrections officer, Lakin. Oh, snap. You over here being basic and you beating motherfuckers up in the prison system? I'm just playing. I hope you ain't beating nobody up. Be nice up in there. Basic and fighting folks. Just like every nurse that I work with. Yo, I'm just playing. I play it. But hey, shout out to you because like I said, I couldn't do corrections. My sister used to do it. And so every time I would ask her, I was like, yo, so I saw this on Orange is the New Black. Is this true? She'd be like, yeah, they be wilding out in there. I'm like, all right, cool. That's funny. Hey, look, come on, ma'am. Army wife, ma'am, you already know. Nursing ain't going nowhere. If you want to go dabble every so often, you already know ain't no hospital gonna turn you around and be like, nah, you can't come dabble. Come on now. 9 years in psych as well. Forget them skills. The hospital, what? The hospital was stupid. That's what I'm trying to say. Hey, you worked in psych too. Why do I feel like it's just like every time, like you worked in corrections, this is for Nurse Cass. You worked in corrections and you worked in psych, which is also corrections. Why do I feel like I hear nuck if you buck the whole time. That's all I hear in my ear. You and your husband both laking? I cannot with y'all. I can't. I came in late, but do you have to be a member of the military to work at the VA hospital? No, ma'am. You, Nurse Jeb, soon to be Nurse Jeb. Just Ebbs, ma'am. No, you do not have to be you don't have to be affiliated with the military at all to work at the VA. However, if you have a military affiliation and you have a VA rating disability, you have a very, very high chance of getting a job there. No, my husband would be off the wing if there was an issue. He always stayed close to where I was. Oh, look, you lucky. He would be close. Okay. You can handle your own. Can't type. I see you can't type. It's all good. No pressure whatsoever, ma'am. Look, listening to see it. Like, I know you ain't one to fool with. I'm just saying. My first code green I ever experienced. I walked into psych like ready to fight, and I was just like, look, somebody about to step to me. I'm just gonna stay back here behind this nurse's station because if somebody swings on me, my natural reaction is to swing back. So, I don't know what's going on here. First code green, my man ripped some shit out of the wall. I was scared for my life. I didn't know what to do. Because they put me in adolescent boys, and then they put me in adolescent females, 13 to 17. I told this story a while back. Look, no, exactly, no. The females, they did that. I swear to you, my preceptor or my clinical instructor, she was like, yeah, we're gonna put you in adolescent females. I was like, you're gonna what? Nope. I didn't leave from behind that desk. I did not leave from behind the nursing desk at all. That's just like throwing like meat into a lion's pit. Like y'all ain't about to just nope. And then I was going through charts and I was like, oh my God, like that's wild. That's wild. Like not only is it wild to me to read their charts, but it's wild to me to like see all these eyes just looking at me. It kind of reminds me of like where you're on a safari and it's nighttime and they shine the light like in the bushes and shit, and all you see is these eyes just looking at you, and I'm just like, can I leave? Like, this ain't for me. This ain't it. No. I only work with male. Oh yeah, male. I don't do female inmates at all. That shit's wild. Like, psych at the prison was tough. I believe it. I believe that psych was tough. Like, no, like I believe that psych is tough. Like, period. Because especially if they've been there and they've done something, really bad, and now they have psych issues, that's just doubly bad. So I ain't for it. It ain't for me. A lot of people are just like, I'm gonna go work in corrections. I think there was an issue where there was an inmate, I think, that had died, and the nurse was staring at the patient through the window and trying to make a determination, like talking back and forth to them, like making sure that they're okay. And apparently he had died. And I want to say it was an LV. I think she was an LVN, but she ended up losing her license because they were saying like, oh, she didn't render care in enough time. And I'm just like, did you not see all those people bum rush this lady and then her sitting here trying to visually assess this man through this window? Like, there was videotapes and all that, and they they didn't indict the officers, but they indicted her. Like, it's a wild and crazy story. Once again, I saw it on nurse.org because that's where I get all my nursing stuff from. But that story is wild. So let's talk about let's talk about a topic right now, like some news topics real quick. But before I jump on the news topics, shout out to all 13 of y'all being in here listening to me run my mouth. If you are new here, my name is Kevin. I go by The Boot Nurse on all social media platforms. That's YouTube, Instagram, Thread. I have a Facebook group called The Boot Nation. Make sure you guys go check it out. But definitely check out the YouTube, and of course here on TikTok. And we're talking about nursing stuff, nursing, NCLEX, and essentially anything that you want to know in regards to nursing or NCLEX, or if you want to just be nosy. But if you try to be nosy, I kind of just won't give you no information. Usually you guys hear my son screaming at the door. Last live stream, me and my man was having a conversation. He's 16 months, but he thinks he runs everything. He does, but he and I were having a conversation. You guys missed that. I'm actually going to upload that video to my YouTube, so I want you guys to take a look at that as well. But we talked about a lot of good stuff on there. But what I want to know is who you are, where you're from. If you're new here, who you are, where you're from, where you're at in your nursing journey. Have you taken your nursing exam, your NCLEX? Have you passed it? Have you not passed it? How many times have you taken it? Are you a pre-nursing student? We're trying to establish really good rapport and information going down in the chat. So, yes, I want to hear from you guys. And if anything I can't answer, we got seasoned nurses that are down here that will spit that information out at you. We got people up in here that like to fight at work, like Nurse Cass be beating people up, you know what I'm saying? And she's from Georgia. Look, you know what I'm saying? She's from Florida. You must be from Jacksonville. I've been to Jacksonville. I know what's up. I lived in Jacksonville for 4 years. I know all. Look, you from Jacksonville. I know what's up. But anyways, if y'all got any questions at all whatsoever, make sure you guys drop them down in the comments. And if you are a nursing student about to start nursing school, and you want an NCLEX review, or if you need help or anything like that, check out the 7-day NCLEX course. It is in its pre-launch phase. It's going for $48. We are building that. I just uploaded 2 videos today. All that good jazz. For anybody that needs help with NCLEX, it is a growing program. You buy it once, you get it forever. You have it for a lifetime, for however long my life is and yours. And we're blessed to see one. We're blessed to see life every day. So, so definitely check that out. Or if you know somebody else that needs help with NCLEX, or if you know somebody else that's going into nursing school, get you an NCLEX review for $48 because NCLEX reviews usually are like 100 and up. Just saying, check it out. All right. Before I look at this news, let's see what you guys are talking about. Let's see what y'all are talking about. You from Gainesville? Oh, look. Oh, you was born in Gainesville? Oh, okay. I see. Just have to make sure you document and actually provide the care. Yep. Of course. Because if you don't document, yeah, y'all can say it. I was born in Gainesville. Gators. Okay. Louisiana. Started respiratory therapy school. I started in respiratory therapy school this fall, 6 months. A 6-month-old baby boy. Shout out to a 6-month-old baby boy. That's what I'm talking about. I have a son myself. He's a demon. So your son will also be a demon. I don't know how many kids you have, but if he's your first boy, he will be a demon. And that's okay because we love our little demons. If I brought him in here, he'd just start talking and turn to touch the phone. He got like this mad scientist hair going on. Look, I got you. I understand. But shout out to you starting respiratory therapy. Respiratory is in my opinion, it's a good occupation. It is a very good occupation within the hospital to have because you're going to be needed everywhere. Be ready for them code blues. I'm going to tell you. Are Baylor weekend shifts common for nurses? I don't even know what Baylor weekend shifts are because I personally have never heard that. So please elaborate if you could. I don't know if I have asked this, but how long is nursing school after prereqs? I think altogether. Lakin, that really honestly just depends on the nursing school that you go to. So a lot of places, like if you get the prereqs done, you can be done in 15. If you get the prereqs done and then you go into a bachelor's degree program, it can be 15 months. Some programs don't even let you do prereqs because they do all of their stuff in their program. Like the University of Texas, their nursing school, 4 years. The reason why it's 4 years is because the first 2 years you're doing like math, you're doing all your general studies, and your last 2 years you're doing all of your nursing specific classes. So it all just depends on the nursing school that you apply for and that you go to. Just Abs, do you have a preferred specialty other than teaching? Do you mean like in nursing? Like I worked in the ICU, I worked in PACU, and I've worked in the OR. My specialty in regards to teaching is just, I love teaching about sterile processing. I love talking about different surgical procedures. My biggest thing in teaching is the hands-on things. I'm a very big hands-on individual. Everybody is for the most part. So, yeah, everybody pretty much is for the most part. So, but when it comes to specialties, I try to be well-rounded, but I'm geared more towards learning and teaching about critical care and perioperative services since I've worked in both. And then, of course, while you learn while you teach. So, like, if I forget something, man, I gotta catch back up and I gotta see, like, hey, what is this about, about hemodynamics, or let's talk about DKA and why they end up in the ER and why they end up in the ICU and what we're looking for. Like, are we trying to close that gap? And, all those things. So that's where my teaching aspect goes. And we're always students every time we teach. So anytime I teach, if I don't know something, I'll be like, you know what? I'm not sure. I'll look that up and we can learn together. I have no problem doing that. Like, I'm never embarrassed. I'm not going to walk out here and be like, oh, I know everything, because that ain't the truth. It's 2 years, right? Lakin, it all just depends. Like I said, it all just depends on the school that you go to. Yep. That's how my second son is. My oldest is such a sweetheart. Yeah. Shout out to all the demons, because my son's a demon. But I love that little boy so much. I'm a CNA student, and I want to know some info about nursing school and NCLEX. Okay, Dr. Marie Beauty COE. What exactly would you like to know? It's either two 16-hour shifts it's either two 16-hour shifts weekends, or two 12-hour shifts on weekends, but you get paid a 40. Oh, so they do have those, like, where you can work just weekend shifts. I know, like, the psychiatric hospital that I was at for my clinicals for nursing school, they did the two 16-hour ones. And the one hospital that I work at right now, they do the two 12-hour ones. ASN 2 years, BSN is 4 years. Yep. But what about the ASN 2 years? Yep, 2 years. What did you say the first 2 years are again? Sorry, I just came in. Well, some creative-ish. You should have got here on time. No, I'm just playing. First 2 years are like, it depends on where you are, what school, like if you get into a 4-year program. But in reality, it's just like your general studies with, like if you start doing AMP 1 and 2, micro, so on and so forth. That all just depends on the school that you go to. Oh, there he is. I just came in. You say the first 2 years are working. I'm sorry. The school I called, they told me to do prerequisites first and apply for the program. But it's hard to get into because it's so competitive. Lakin, are you talking about the nursing school is hard? The reason why they want you to do prerequisites is because they only want you to be there for the nursing specific classes. And remember, you can apply at any school. Can new grads go into the OR or interventional radiology? So the radiology aspect, I'm not too sure about that one. I actually will look that one up. But for the OR, absolutely. Like, you can go into a residency program, Lamington. So you can go into a residency program to where you can go straight into the OR. They have residency programs for almost every specialty in nursing. A lot of people will be like, no, don't go to OR. No, don't go to meds, or no, don't go to the ICU. No, don't go to ER. Go straight to med surg first. The days of having to go to med surg are over. You don't have to do that. However, going to med surg is a good thing. Like, a lot of people think I just shit on med surg, but I don't. Going to med surg is a good thing because if you don't know where to go and if you don't feel confident about your skills, that's a great place to hone in, to learn about time management, your pathophysiology, pharmacology. Like, I'm not saying you get a little bit more time, because shit does go down in med surg, depending on where you are and what type of med surg that you're doing. But, like, you really can hone in your time management and your patient care thought process, the skills, critical thinking as well. So, not bad at all. But yes, you definitely can go to OR. I think I already answered you. So Thunder's here. What's up, Thunder? Yep, I already answered you. Baylor program, prerequisites. Yep, I said that about prerequisites. Hold on. Let me see something. Creative. Like, you were asking about prerequisites. Like, are you asking, like, in regards to, like, how school goes? Like, you got to give me a little bit more context. Name a soccer player for an edit. Name a soccer player for an edit. I mean, I'm going to go with Messi if you want me to do that. Yes, because they said it's so competitive and it's an hour for me. I tried finding a nursing program online, but it is all BSN, not ASN. Okay. It doesn't necessarily, I mean, for you, Lakin, I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter. Like I said, as long as you find, here's the thing, people forget is that in a BSN and an ASN, you take the same licensing exam. The same exact one. So if you can get into a 4-year program, then that's cool. Eventually you're going to have to go, not have to go, but eventually you're going to get your bachelor's degree. If you get an ASN, you don't have to get a bachelor's degree, but eventually you might want to get a bachelor's degree. It's there, so essentially it's like whatever one. And if it's an hour drive for you, like I tell people, it's like, how bad do you want to be a nurse? There are people that have moved out of their own state to go to another state just to go to nursing school and then, go back to their home state. That's a temporary thing that you could do. You always got to be thinking outside the box. Like, how bad do you want these things? What are you willing to sacrifice temporarily or permanently? It all just depends. Let me see. I got accepted. Creative said I got accepted into my nursing program, but I have to do my prereqs. It's all gonna be 4 years. So when I did my prereqs, I did my prereqs from 13 to 16. No, yeah, 13 to 16, and I started nursing school 17, graduated in 18. Yep. So that sounds about right. But I just turned 20. I have a psych major my first 2 years of college. So it all just depends on creative. So it all just depends on, with that psych major, depends on the classes. The prerequisites have nothing to do necessarily with a degree. It is the I don't even know what to say. Like, if it's prereqs, like, it is the prerequisite classes for you to get into a nursing program to get a nursing degree. So depending on what classes were in your psych program or your psych degree will depend on however many less classes that you have to take. I hope that makes sense. Did that make sense? Let me know if it makes sense. Let me know if it makes sense by smashing the like button, and I want to see the hearts on the right side. I love y'all. Appreciate it. Let's see what else we got. Do you know if you have to take a placement test for each school you apply for? For the majority of nursing schools, yes. I have not seen a nursing school yet that does not require you to do the HESI or the TEAS. I have not seen one at all. Exactly. It's all about sacrifice. Facts. Do you think finishing at 20 is bad? I'm just starting my prereqs in the fall. Starting nursing school at 23, 24 is not bad. A tad of advice: do a 2-year degree, ASN program, bridge from your BSN program, save your 1 year of college. Facts. Let them know. Cass, I don't know if they're ready for that. Cass, can I call you Cass? I feel like saying Nurse Cass, like 1980. I mean, that's like me saying like Nurse Kev 1987. Don't nobody want to know. I'm just going to call you Cass. Can I call you Cass? I'm going to do that. Degree work, right? I'm okay with the drive. That's just the only nursing program that I found close. Well, you got to look around. Like I said, I love telling people about Western Governors University. Love telling them about it. Just wanted to get my ASN first so I can get... Yes, exactly. That's the great thing about it. So, I know I'll finish at 23 or 24. Got it. You'll finish at 23 or 24. That's okay. That's okay. Somebody else was in here. I think it was Just Ebbs. She was just like, I'm a grandmother. Ma'am, ain't nobody ask you that. No one's going to care what's on your degree. You know what's on your degree? I'm going to show you. You see that right there? At no point, because that's my bachelor's degree, at no point does it say, hey, you were 32, you were 31 or 32. It doesn't say your age on there. It doesn't have my son's name on it. It doesn't have my ex-wife's name on there. Doesn't have nobody's name on there but mine. So don't got your age, don't got none of that. So what I would say is that it's okay if you get your degree at 20. A lot of people feel like they're late to the game, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. A nursing school ain't going nowhere. Nursing school's always going to be there. And a lot of people are just like, man, like I didn't get into nursing school. What I tell people is like, yo, you were right where you were supposed to be. Like you were right, like in life, you were right where you were supposed to be. If you didn't get into nursing school, that's okay. You may not have gotten into that nursing school, but there could be another opportunity that opens up for you. So don't get sad about it. Like, don't try to feel detrimental about the fact of when you graduate or anything like that. And this is me just talking. This isn't me directing this towards anybody. I know last live stream, some people felt like I was targeting them and I was aggressive. And I'm just like, first of all, this really comes out sometimes. That's number one. Number two, you got to give me a little bit more context when you're talking in the chat. That way I don't be like, hey, what are you talking about? Because if you're trolling me, I'm going to block your ass. I'm just saying. T's exam tips. That's for Jen. Who has some T's exam tips for Jen? I don't know. I'm just so nervous and feel like I'm starting late. Let me tell you something creative. You are not starting late. Everyone calls me Cass. That is so funny. Well, I'm calling you Cass now. You want me to just call you I call you 1980 if you want me to. Hey, I'm just playing. I'll just play it, Cass. I'm just playing. Hey, don't beat me up. Look, I know you work in corrections and I know you work with psych and I know, you want people to try Jesus and not you because you throw hands. I know it. But please don't come after me. Okay. I bruise easy. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. I love teaching. I love my son. I love everyone that's a part of my life. Just don't beat me up. So shout out to you. Jen, it's okay to be nervous, but Don't be nervous to the fact. For me to tell you not to be nervous would be very mean to say, actually, because in reality, everybody is nervous about anything that they do, especially when it comes to nursing, because you haven't been exposed to it and you don't know what to expect. But I just want to let you know that it's okay. Like wherever you are, like you're going to take the entrance exam, you're going to do whatever. You're going to be okay. Here's one thing I also want everybody to tell themselves if they start to feel some type of way about it. Say to yourself, is this the worst thing that could happen to me? And if your answer is no, take a deep breath. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. Woosah, and you're going to be all right. Can I take AMP1 over the summer? I don't know. Brianna, can you? You just got to. So, all right, that was kind of an asshole of a response. Yes, you can take AMP over the summer. However, it all just depends on what school you go to and if they offer it. So I would recommend looking into the local schools around you and see when they offer AMP. I do know that they offer AMP in 8-week sessions. Hell, I even seen them where they offer them now in 5-week sessions. So definitely check those out. Check them out. Well, I just turned 26 and just finally decided that this is what I wanted to do. So definitely not bad. Exactly. It was 2012 when I had said I wanted to be a nurse. You know what happened to me? Right after I said that, they sent me on a deployment. I went to Afghanistan and I hung out and bought real estate for a year. That last part is sarcasm because I didn't buy any real estate. I was in Afghanistan. Okay. So while I was gone for an entire year, I still decided I wanted to be a nurse. I was doing a lot of emergency trauma, surgical procedures, and all kind of life, limb, eyesight kind of stuff. And I still wanted to be a nurse. And I was 21, 2, 3, 4. I was 25. So you're not late to the game. You're not late to the game at all. I can guarantee you. There were girls that were out. There was girls I was in nursing school with. One who had been in like an LPN for like 20 years and then decided that she wanted to go nursing. You know what I mean? So you're not late to the game. You're not late to the game. I hear people say all the time, like, nursing is my dream. Okay. Instead of making it a dream, make it a reality. Like, how bad do you want it? You know what I'm saying? How bad are you willing to go through to get that degree and that license? You know, only you can put that work in, because guess what? Like, it's kind of like being a business owner. Like, you have to take responsibility for everything that goes good or bad. So it's just like, if you want to be a nurse, you have to take responsibility for what you do and for what you don't do. We call that accountability. So don't let anything super crazy happen like that. You'll be all right. I promise you'll be fine. I'm 35 years old. I feel like I'm 50. I said I feel like I'm 50. Mostly it's because just what the military has done to me. That's okay. But like, you got plenty of time. You got time. You can make shit work. I can guarantee it. Nursing ain't going nowhere. All right. Let me see what y'all are talking about. Community college. Oh, so Brianna, community colleges have classes going on all the time. So you shouldn't have a problem. One recommendation I would say would be to go and rate my professor and see what professors are really good at teaching that subject. That way you won't have a professor that's, not saying anything bad about anybody being from a different country, but the language barrier creates, it's part of an environmental factor, which makes teaching difficult to understand, by conveying information from one person. So think about that as well. Love her body. Straight up. Appreciate it. Creative said, wow, I love your lives. You're always so real and honest, and I feel like that's something I need to hear. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I gain nothing by lying to you about what's out here. I gain nothing from it. I promise you. I like coming on here because I want to give that information. Do I want to try to sell you something? Yes. Do I want to do this? Yes. Do I want to give you information? Yes. I don't have to sell you anything. I don't have to come on here to sell you anything. It just so happens that just happens to be where it's at. But the biggest thing is, I feel like a lot of things were a farce. I feel like I was lied to about a lot of things. And as I have gone through the process of getting into school and then gone through the process of, that process of getting into school, going through school, studying for my exam, failing it multiple times, becoming a nurse, it was like, man, I finally made it. Then I started working and realized that not saying that wasn't it, but you realize it's just like those commercials that they put on TV, they're just like, they give you all the good side. Of course, a commercial's not going to try to give you a bad side because they want to try to sell you going to school. But that ain't me. Like, I'm going to tell you. And I would rather you know everything up front. I would rather you know everything up front. That way you can make a solid decision for yourself before you decided that you wanted to become a nurse. But every occupation has good and bad. Well, I think we could all agree with that, right? So that's one thing I would say is just like, I would like to be completely, this is why I never became a military recruiter. My numbers would be terrible. They were like, oh no, he told me about deployment. Can't do it. But now things are a little bit different. We're not at war yet. And I joined during a time of war. So my mindset about things were a little bit different versus how it is now. And, TikTok wasn't a thing back then. So yeah, like I said, I gained nothing from lying to you. I want to be completely honest and transparent with everybody in regards to what you're getting yourself into, because I'm a big people person. I love people, and I especially love people that I consider to be in my tribe, and nursing is my tribe, one of them. So I love to just give it all to you. Right. That's what, Lakin, what did you say? Hold on. You said a few things on here. Hold on. Jen said, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much. You're very, very welcome. Right. That was me. I kept thinking about for 2 years and decided that this year I can no longer put it off. Right. When you started, did you do your nursing program online or did you go in person? So Lakin, my nursing program was 100% online. You guys can probably hear the dog back there barking. She's crazy too. But my nursing school was 100% online. I went to Texas A&M in Corpus Christi, and they have two different online programs. One is it's the E-line, the traditional or accelerated E-line program, and they had the E-line military program. So they actually had seats set aside for people that are active duty and veterans that have medical experience. So if you're a corpsman, if you're an Air Force medic, or if you're an Army medic, they have essentially seats set aside for you. And not just seats set aside for you, but you still have to do the same thing that everybody else does. But they just had a certain amount of seats per semester that they have set aside for veterans, which was great. Like I tried to tell people, I did my HESI the first time and they were just like, hey, you didn't do well. And I was like, damn. So I had to do it again. And I did it again and I blew it out of the water. And then, of course, I got into nursing school. And like I said, I started in 2017. So I did nothing didactic-wise, like lectures in front of an instructor, did nothing like that. It was all on the computer. And then when I did my clinicals, that was all at the local hospital. And I did my clinicals Saturdays and Sundays, and they were 12-hour shifts. So if you have a job and they have you do clinicals on the weekends, if you have a clinical group, I worked Monday through Friday as a surgical tech instructor. And then on Saturday and Sundays, I had clinicals from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Monday, I went right back to work. And I did that almost every semester. That's just how it worked out. So I hope that answers your question, Lakin. The millions of questions that you ask me, which is fine. Creative says, so all in all, do you enjoy being a nurse? That's number one. Yes, I do enjoy being a nurse. I do enjoy the aspects of teaching. I enjoy the aspects of learning. I love the people. Like, I love the patients. Like, that's one thing I did love is like, doctors, they go around, they round on patients and then they're gone. You're there with them the whole 12-hour shift. So you get to know them. You get to know their family. You know the good. You get the good and the bad. You develop a relationship, a professional relationship with them. So there's a lot of relationships I've built with people, that were my patients that either went home or some that didn't go home, some that passed away, So I enjoy the aspect of being a nurse because I am a emotional people person. But that also can be a very bad thing. Because whether we say we do it or not, we take stuff like that home with us. And then imagine just like having to go through the grieving process for multiple people over multiple years. Sometimes that can really get to you. And with my military service and me being deployed different times and having that critical aspect there and then doing the critical care aspect, as a nurse, during the second wave of COVID, that'll really fuck with you. But I do enjoy being a nurse. What I enjoy even more is taking people who want to be a nurse and showing them the multiple paths that they could take for themselves. And that's why I became a preceptor, as well as like I would take students in and I would, we teach the newer nurses, how to do specific things. That's why I went that route. So, and remember, just because it says nurse, just because you're a nurse, it doesn't mean that you work bedside. It does not mean that you work bedside. Being a nurse, you could work in radiology. You can work in OR. You can work med surg. You can do administration. You could do occupational. You can do non-traditional nursing jobs. You can work at the post office. I didn't even know that. You can travel. You could be a school nurse. You could do public health nursing and community health nursing. Like, you could work like at insurance companies. You could do case management. You can do all kinds of stuff. So nursing is not just bedside. I should make that I should make that a shirt. It says nursing, not just bedside. I'm doing it and I'm tagging it right here and it's on record. So if any of y'all steal it, I'm suing y'all. I'm just playing. Shout out to all 12 of y'all. I love y'all. Give me the 6,000 likes. So let me answer your second question. What state do you work in? I work in Texas, which is the only state that anybody should ever work in because Texas is Texas. Go Cowboys. What's your specialty? Currently, I work in the operating room, so I'm an OR nurse. Appreciate your questions. Thank you for asking. Yes, it did. I'm so emotionally in tune with other people, and I get along with others as well. And that's great. So nursing right there, creative would be really good for you, honestly. But then it's just like, you have to know, like, you have to be able to take care of yourself mentally. I can tell you that right now. You really, really do have to take care of yourself mentally because you'll have people there'll be some crazy shit that'll happen on your floor. You'll have somebody coding on one spot. And then later on, you'll maybe have a combative patient that may punch somebody. Heaven forbid that you be somewhere where an actual person will like harm a nurse or another medical provider and you witness it. And then you'll turn around and there'll be like multiple codes. Like my first day in the ICU, we had like 5 codes. And out of all 5 codes, all 5 people died. That was my first day in the ICU. When I tell you that shit was wild, that shit was just wild. It was wild. It reminded me of deployment all over again, right? Just in a different, you would think a controlled aspect, but it was just different, right? And of course, I like to do TikTok because I like to vent because it helps me express stuff to people that I know who have been in similar situations. So that's another reason I like to do it. It helps me mentally. Thank you. Let's see. But definitely if you're mentally in tune with other people, always take care of yourself mentally with getting your emotions in check, because when shit happens, they're going to be like, all right, cool. We need to get this room clean because we got another admit and you're taking it. So you got to dry them tears up and get your emotions in order so you can take care of another new person that you don't even know. And that's the stuff that people they really don't tell you about, but you just have to be prepared for. I asked that question because I'm starting my second semester. Brianna, did I answer your question? I thought I did. Georgia pays corrections bank. I bet. I wonder why. Tell me why, Cass. Why they pay y'all bank? Because y'all got hoodlums over there. Okay, I got you. Straight up. And you're probably saying that based off of, like I said, everybody should be in Texas. Oh, but I can tell you cost of living is a little bit lower here depending on where you live. So, I bet you. Well, as a matter of fact, Texas, they have really good. They pay their corrections folks pretty good here too. Now I think about it. I grew up in East Texas. Everyone I talk to all want to move to Texas. To me, it's the best state. I'm guessing that's what you meant. Because it is the best state. Stop playing games. You already know what's up. Do you think is the best specialty you're in your opinion? I'm assuming creative. You're asking me, do I think the specialty that I am in is the best? Or are you asking me what I think the best specialty is and what the worst is? I strongly like Georgia, where I moved to a couple of years ago, but the hubs loves it here. You're in California, Lakin, right? Yep. Nope. It's actually pretty cake. I bet it is a pretty cake job. Texas, it was lower than GA for sure. And yes, Texas pays corrections pretty good. They have given 3 raises this year. Pretty tempting to go back if I didn't have kids. Yep. Well, you already know how I feel about them kids. No, I'm just playing, Lakin. I'm just playing. What do you think is the best specialty to be in, and what do you think is the worst? Okay, now I got you. Look, hey, sometimes I promise you, if I don't see your question, you can take your time typing. I'll go back up. I'll try to go back up and look at it. But thank you for clarifying that. So it all depends. So it depends. Like Cass, she likes corrections. You will never see me in corrections at all. Period. It all just depends on like what you want. Some people will never go to ICU ever. Period. Some people will never go to the critical care aspect. Some people will, like, I have friends who work in ICU and they will never go to the OR. They're just like, I don't know how y'all do that. Like to be in somebody's belly and to see their joints and all their knees and amputations and taking them all. Like me, that's just kind of what I grew up on. I grew up in the surgical realm in regards to my medical experience. And to me, I'm just like, oh, this is just another day to be inside somebody's abdomen and seeing all their intestines and holding and all that other stuff and seeing what the body looks like on the inside. That doesn't bother me. But my ICU counterparts, like some of my friends that work up there, they would never go to the OR ever. So it all just depends. I would never work psych. I would never work corrections. I like the OR because you get one patient at a time. You could work at a clinic, which a lot of people love the clinic environment, the 9 to 5 environment. So creative, honestly, it really just depends. But, Cass is going to tell you that, she wants you to go to corrections and go to the gym and, hit the yard. Because that's what she does. She be hitting the yard, be looking at, she be running motherfuckers up in there. Like, that's funny though. Yes, my fingers are chubby and I have so many. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. No worries. That's one reason I would love to become a nurse. The field is so open. It's not just bedside. 100%. Like, you having a nursing license, whether it be an RN or an LPN, it's not your identity. I'm just going to use Cass as an example. Cass has been a nurse for quite some time. So a lot of people would be like, oh, I'm a nurse. In reality, and this is the honest to God truth, it's just like, hey, my name is Cass, and I also happen to be a nurse. Like, you are your own person. And if Cass didn't want to do corrections, she could literally go work for a medical devices company showing people, how to freaking use condom caths and make over $100,000 a year and travel and do all that, or she could go work at an insurance company and do case management from home or data utilization from home and not even wear pants if she didn't want to. Sit on here and do her meeting at 10 o'clock. She's like, yeah, we're good. Get up. And then she goes, you see what I'm saying? Go get coffee or do something, right? So there's one lady that I follow. Her name is Kelsey, and she runs this program, or she runs an Instagram thing called Whole Life Nurse. And she says you're the CEO of your license. Like, you have no idea. Once you get an RN, once you get your license as an RN or even as an LPN, you have no idea the things that it opens up to. You can go work at a pharmaceutical company and never touch a patient. Because believe it or not, there is medications out there that are good that pharmaceutical companies create, like Levofed. So I'm just saying, keeps people alive, keeps that vast, keeps some things constricted. You know what I mean? Oh, y'all are having a conversation. Okay. I was told if you spend at least a year in the ICU, you can work anywhere. So I spent a year in the ICU between 3 different ICUs, and I could agree. Like, there's things that I could do in the OR. Or there's knowledge that I have that most OR nurses don't have because they don't do, they don't do the drips and, they don't do the bedside aspect of taking care of a patient. I would agree to that, but most ICU nurses don't want to leave the ICU because if they left ICU to go to med surg, it's like it's too slow for them or it's too many patients for them. So they're just like, no. You do need experience in the ER or psych. You need to be able to stand on your own, critical think, and make decisions on your own. Yep, you sure do. Anything remote? Look, there's nothing but remote jobs out here. You just got to look. But let me not fool. My husband wasn't always there. I'm assuming you mean on the unit when he had OT overtime. So you always got to be ready to fight. And I know the nurses at the prison are a different breed. Look, I'm just saying. I'm telling you, every time I hear anything about corrections or psych, all I hear is a nurse just like one of the nurses just playing Knuck If You Buck on the way up to the gate. And then they just go in there and they're just like the sweetest person on the planet. It's just like, what's up with that? So later, Mr. Kevin, it was nice meeting you. Thank you for answering my questions. You are very welcome, Creative. I hope you are following me and you hit that notification button, and I hope you stay. I hope you come and see us on the next live. So I appreciate your questions and hope to see you back on the next live, which will be on Wednesday. They are ready to jump in on fights and yep, facts. Like the nurse is just like, oh, I'll help. Let me get my licks in first. Like, feel like Cass will be over there just be like, oh, like sling her hair back. I don't even know if I did that right because I ain't got no fucking hair. It's just pop, pop, pop. Oh my God. I'm just playing. Hey, shout out to y'all. Shout out for all 12 people for hanging out in here. And if you guys are brand new to this live stream, welcome. My name is Kevin. I go by the Boot Nurse on all social media platforms, so include YouTube, Instagram, and of course here on TikTok. If you're new here, I want to know who you are, where you're from, where you're at in your nursing journey. Have you taken your NCLEX? Are you a pre-nursing student? Do you have any questions about, what it's like to be a nurse? We got nurses that are in here that'll give you all the tea, except for Cass, because if you ask her questions, she might beat you up. Hey, I'm just playing. Hey, and if anybody that you know needs help with the NCLEX, or if you're a new nursing student about to start school in the next couple of weeks and you want to get an NCLEX review, check out the 7-day NCLEX course. It's going for $48. The link is in my bio. It's in the pre-launch phase, so that means it is not complete, and we are continuously adding content with new generation NCLEX question videos and Q banks and all this other good stuff is to follow. I'm a one-man army, and this army is making it happen. So if you're interested in that, check that link in the bio, or if you know somebody else, just share it with them. You never know who might need it. But like I said, I want to know who you are, where you're from, and drop them down in the comments. We're trying to foster a great nursing environment to where we can ask these questions, and we can have a good time. So let's see what's going on. All right, I have to jump off. See you on Wednesday. The little monster is already in bed. Oh, it's already 7 o'clock. They better be in bed. That's what I'm saying. Well, shout out to you, Lakin. Thank you for coming to always hang out and asking your questions. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Dave said, you're in the OR. Yes, sir. I am in the OR. I was a surgical tech for a little bit, actually for a long bit. And then I became a nurse, and now I work in the operating room. Now, nope. I'm not breaking up shit because if I'm hit, yeah, they can fight, and I'll just and I'll take care of the aftermath. That's right. They'll be like, what happened to you? You see what the CO did to me, right? You'd be like, yo, I ain't see nothing. Hey, I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it looks like we're caught up on all the questions. I wanted to talk about one of these articles that came out. So this is something for you guys to be aware of. Is there's a hospital right now. It's Cedars-Sinai, Marina, and Del Rey, or something like that. 98% of the nurses voted to go on a strike. And so this is for a twofold. A lot of places go on strike because of pretty much the unsafe nursing practices, the unsafe patient-nurse ratios, as well as just it's all around unsafe, and as well as pay, right? Pay and benefits, and just how the hospital administration systems go. 98% of the nurses at Cedars-Sinai decided that, hey, they're going to go on strike. Now, this is, like I said, it's a twofold. When they go on strike, there's not going to be anybody to help. There's not going to be anybody to take care of the patients. Now, if anybody is a travel nurse or what they call the crisis assignment or the FEMA nurses, this is where they go in. And this is where you see those nurses that are making like $4, $5, $6, all the way up to $10,000 a week going in, taking care of these strikes. So those are things that you really, really have to pay attention to. Like it says, nurses strike over recruitment and retention. It says Cedars-Sinai reported a $6.9 billion, as in $1 billion revenue for that whole hospital system, but they can't pay nurses. Make that make sense, right? And it says Cedars-Sinai says that the union is making false claims, saying that they don't have the retention, or that the retention numbers are wrong and the pay is wrong. The union is making they have a contract negotiations that are also stalled. And it says nurses betrayed by the lack of support. And that's true. Like, that's a big, big thing. That is one reason why I quit the ICU, is because I didn't feel like we had the necessary support, especially when you work nights. You work the most critical area in the hospital, but then you have people just telling you to figure it out. That's never been my thing. I never understood how people ever think that way. But especially if you're a brand new nurse working in the ICU. That's why you see ICU turnover rates right now anywhere from 70 to 90%. You'll see people that be in the ICU for 3 to 6 months and they quit. They'll quit the nursing field altogether because they've gotten a bad experience from it. But then I would expect for somebody to want to quit the ICU if they only got a 12-week orientation, and then they just let you loose and they just tell you to figure out. But they tell you that you have all the resources, but then when you try to get the resources, they pretty much tell you to go fuck yourself. I just keep it all the way real. So that's one of the things that's going on right now is this strike. A lot of people should pay attention to it because if you're a nurse and you're looking for, number one, to make some money, it's up there. Somebody's going to have to take care of these patients. And these nurses aren't going to be the ones to do it because they're fighting for better things for them as well as for their patients. But somebody's going to have to take care of them. So if you're one of those individuals that want to go up there and make a quick couple $1,000s, you sure can. There's one video I saw on YouTube where a girl made $16,000. You heard what I said, $16,000 by doing a strike like this. And she was up there for 2 weeks and then the strike was over. And within 2 weeks, before her shift was over, she had a $16,000 deposit. Is it true? Yes, because you can really go out here and make some money. But you also got to realize those people are striking because they live there and they want better wages, they want better policies, they want better support for themselves and for their patients that live in that local area. That's just kind of how it goes. So yeah, pay attention to that strike because I said a lot can come from that. Nope, I'm not breaking it. Yep, he said not at all. Does being in the OR make you want to try CRNA? No, I've been in. Okay, so when I was a surg tech, I wanted to be a CRNA. That's all I wanted to do was anesthesia. I thought about anesthesia since I was probably about 19. I was about 19 or 20. And then when I became a nurse and I worked in the ICU, it was just like my passion to want to do CRNA just was gone. It was gone. Because my passion for it was just gone. COVID and the process of how the hospital did things, it ruined everything for me. But then I realized that I was fighting against the grain because I loved teaching. And so that's why I stuck to the education aspect. Could I go to be a CRNA and then turn around and be a CRNA instructor? Of course. But the teaching aspect is what I loved. And the CRNA dwindled and I didn't want to do that anymore. So I don't talk. That's what my lawyer's for. Facts, straight up. I don't feel like new nurses should work in critical care. Yes, Cass, we talked about that. Remember, so it's all about, so you got to remember, it's just like, it ain't even about how we feel. It's about the numbers and they need people to fill those spots. Now, I'm okay with anybody going anywhere to include the ER and to include the ICU. If the proper training is given to somebody. Like ICU nurses, so there was one guy that I worked with who he got a 6-month orientation of ICU. Remember, he was working there, 3 to 4 times a week. He had a preceptor. He had everything. He learned how to do CRT, balloon pumps, impellers, all that stuff. He learned all that within a 6-month period. After his 6 months, he was by himself, but he truly had the resources. But with COVID, that jacked everything up. It jacked everything up. So I'm also in the OR. Do nurses scrub and circulate at your facility? I'm not feeling the scrubbing. Well, they do. Well, you do have some nurses that'll scrub, but most of the nurses here, they circulate, at least at my hospital. But then because if you want to, they don't get paid any more or any less if they scrub. Now, if they're like an RNFA, then that would be totally different. But then even to be a RNFA, the hospitals here don't pay you any more. And then most of the time they don't even want an FA because then they have to pay them more. It's weird. Especially with civilian hospitals, which is something I'm still trying to get used to. It's just a weird thing. How long do y'all work? Hours in a day? It all just depends on where you work, to be honest. It really all just depends on where you work. So if you work, on any floor, you could work, 10-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts. It all just depends on where you work. And the OR right now, 95% of the people, they work Monday through Friday, 8-hour shifts. We do have maybe some onesies and twosies that work 10-hour shifts. And then I know one person that does a 12-hour shift in the OR. I love the ICU, but it takes a lot out of you. It really, really does. I worked in a burn ICU for about 6 months. And then I worked in a medical and a neuro ICU for a total of 7 months. And it really does take a lot out of you. It really does take a lot out of you. Physically, emotionally, it does a lot. But, when I worked in the burn ICU, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I was willing to just take that, take whatever was coming with that. But it's just when I got to the neuro and the medical and it was at a different hospital, that's when I'm just what the hell is happening here? So My father-in-law is a doctor. I did my first year in the ER with him. Learned a lot. See, now you lucked out. You said ex-father-in-law? I hear you. But, I mean, you learned a lot. And I'm pretty sure he's just like, hey, let me take you under my wing. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he did. You know what I mean? So you were very lucky to have somebody like that. You know what I mean? So, and that's good stuff. Yeah, I bet he did, you know? And that's what happened to me when I was at the burn center. There was a guy there. He took me under. He took me under his wing, and he was teaching me everything that he knew. We kind of butted heads a little bit, but and I feel like it's kind of like the Rams where they hit each other and we were butting heads. But then like once he and I had a conversation, like we like essentially became the best of friends. He's a great teacher, a great ICU nurse. He pretty much been working in the burn center he worked in the burn center as an LVN, and like. I'm not saying there's nothing that you couldn't tell him, but my man knew a lot. He should have been a doctor. I don't know if he's going to go and be a doctor. I think he's going to go to CRNA school, but great guy. And that's what I miss. And then like when I got out here to a civilian hospital, it was not like that. And by say civilian hospital, I mean the civilian hospital that I went to go work at. It was not the bee's knees. So what else y'all got? What other questions y'all got? I'm just going to, okay, user 9620. Hi, can you please give me advice? I'm taking my NCLEX next week. I sure can give you some advice. And I'm pretty sure Cass will give you some advice. And make sure you take it, because if not, she's going to beat you up. Man, I don't know. Every live I pick on somebody, and Cass, you just happen to be that person. I'm sorry. But so the first thing I'll tell you is to recreate the testing center. The testing center, of course, is going to be the computer. So no phone, no drinks, no snacks, no nothing. Take this phone, put it on Zen mode, turn it off, put it on mute, go put it in another room, right? And you recreate the testing center. So you need to be in front of your computer or whatever that you can to try to recreate the testing center as much as possible. I don't know your family or home dynamic. I know things are a little bit different, but that's the first thing that you would want to do. The next thing that you will want to do is, of course, you want to do do content. And if you start with the content that you have the most difficulty with. For me, it was pharmacology. So I started with pharmacology first, and I did as much content as I could do. And then right after that, I did my 85. Well, back then it was 75. So I did 75 to 150 questions a day. And then after I did my 75, 150 questions a day, I then went and I reviewed my quizzes. And either if I got them right or I got them wrong, I spent at least 5 to 8 minutes per question while I was going through them, so to make sure I could try to retain the information or even do just a little bit more research on why I didn't understand it, right? And then I was done. Next day, rinse and repeat. Give yourself at least, well, you take it next week. I would say if this is usually what I tell people when I coach them, but give yourself at least 1 day, 1 to 2 days off, but never do more than 2 days off, because you really start to lose what you started to learn, the week prior. Eliminate your distractions. If you got kids, you already know how I feel about them kids. Well, you don't know. I think you're new here. But I would ask somebody how I feel about them kids. No, but seriously. But yeah, recreate the testing center. Don't have that phone around. Do your content. Do your questions. Do your remediation. What else? What else I got for you? Words of affirmation. I'm all about speaking it into existence. So say it. You have to say it. Not only when you say it, you have to mean it. I will pass NCLEX. Say it. I will pass NCLEX. And even answer yourself. I used to say, I will pass NCLEX. Damn right I will. That's what I would say every single time. So the word, even if you have to put little sticky notes around here saying I will pass NCLEX, do it. Because you'd be so surprised on how those positive words will breed positivity around you and keep all that negative stuff away from you, like facts, right? Show up to the day before. Make sure you have everything lined up. Go to bed early the day before if you can. Make sure you have everything lined up. ID card, hell, even like your keys, anything that you want to print out that you need to take with you. Have your clothes lined up. Don't drink the night before. Don't party the night before. There's people that did that. They were like, hey, you only live once. I'm like, okay, bitch. Like, no, what you talking about? So think about those things, okay? And then, and yeah, just breathe. Just breathe. I know that you're nervous, and I can't tell you that, hey, don't be nervous about it. But a way to get through the test anxiety is to recreate the testing center. That's what I tell everybody. Recreate the testing center. Okay? I think that you're going to do fine. I think that you're going to do well. user 9620. I don't know what else to call you because that's what TikTok tells me. So you're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. And remember, if that's the worst thing that can happen to you, like taking the NCLEX or not doing well on the NCLEX, I think if you could tell me like no, then I think that's okay. I think you'll be fine. You really can't study for the NCLEX. Take mini practice. Take what test you can't. Okay, wow. It's like sausage fingers from Cass over here. My goodness. Yep, your Q&A. You absolutely want to do your practice and your answers. Yep, you do. Don't tell anyone your date. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. So user. Hold on, let me see. So user 9620. Don't tell. He's right. Dave said don't tell anybody your date. You want to know why? Is because heaven forbid you don't do well on your exam, right? You don't tell anybody that you do it because afterwards you're going to have people who are going to come up to you. Did you pass? Did you pass? And they're going to give you all this sympathy, or then people are going to be like, why didn't you pass it? Like you're going to get all this unnecessary stuff from people that may not even be nurses. No one wants to hear that at all. So keep it to yourself because you want to know what's going to happen. It's going to be like, oh, I passed it on the first time, or oh, it's okay. Oh, do you need help? Like, no, don't do that. You don't want that, because then it's like, I don't want your sympathy. You're still sitting here trying to figure out like why you didn't do it. So don't tell anybody your date. And then when the results come out, I want you to come back here. First of all, I want you to follow me. That's number one. Number two, I want you to come back here and I want you to tell us how you did, because these are the people that you want to tell, because we have been in that position. And then eventually people that are going to be in this life are going to be in your position, right? Remember, it's all about constructive criticism, right? There's no need for anybody to be rude to you about whatever, because everybody that's a nurse has been in your same position, but you're going to do well. You're going to do fine. I use Saunders' book, not sure if it's still out there, but that's what I swore by. So you use Saunders. I'm sorry, not Saunders' book, but I can tell you I used Saunders. Didn't work for me. I thought it was terrible in my opinion. So hurry up and pass so you can come get these patients. No, you did not. Hey, you can't be saying that, Nurse Ratchet, like, because people are just like, oh, so all you care about is just getting me on the schedule? You don't care about me learning? Yeah, I said it. Nurse Cass said, look, I had two people taking a typing class. I'm OCD. So after the 50th Q, I just, wow. Oh, my God. Christmas tree, you would. You passed with 70 questions? How you pass with 70 questions? What are you talking about? Yep, exactly why I only said next week. Okay. I heard that all through nursing school. That's a fact, because they ain't lying to you through nursing school. Yep, you'll do great. Also, people will tell you, people will tell you they cut off at 85. Don't be discouraged. That's yeah. So here's one thing. Another thing I tell people is you need to practice as if you're going to get all 150. That's how you need to practice. You literally have to practice as if you're going to get all 150 questions. You want to know why? Let's just say you were only doing 85 questions. You're 85. You're like, yeah, 85. Yeah. When you get to question 86, you're going to be like, yo, what? Like, you're going to be like, I failed. I'm failing. And then instantly when you start saying that, your anxiety is going to fucking go through the roof. Your vision's going to get like this. Like, wow. It's wild. I'm just saying. It cut off at 70. I couldn't concentrate with the two doing all the damn time. Oh, okay. Wait, so your test cut off at 70? When? Like when? Like did you fail that bad? I'm asking. I went to 120 questions. I was sweating bullets. Look, let me tell you, 2005? 2005, it was still 75 questions. What are you talking about? Cass, don't be coming up in here lying to me. If you lie, I'm telling you right now, I don't know if you're lying to me or not, but I need 6,000 likes. I need 6,000 likes because I don't know if you're lying to me. You passed that 70 questions? I don't believe you. This is me, like if I'm like poking your forehead right now, Cass, right now. Boom, boom, boom. You see how my finger's doing that? Boom. That's me telling you, Cass, that I need 6,000 likes. Make it happen right now. It may have been, ma'am, it was 75. It was. During COVID, it was 60 because I actually made a video where it says, I passed NCLEX in 60 questions. I literally said that was 17 years ago. Ma'am, I bet you. Nope, I'm not even going to do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not being pulled into that. Nope, I'm not doing it. You poke me in the eye. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm just nursing ratchet. Look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to poke you in the eye. I was poking Cass in the forehead. Like, ma'am, it was not 70 questions. It was 75. Like I try to tell people, like I took my NCLEX. So when I took my NCLEX, first time I got 75 questions, failed. Second time I got 265 questions, failed. Third time, 106 questions, failed. Got to COVID, 60 questions, pass. He did. I'm calling out tomorrow. My bad. I'm sorry. I poked you in the eye and you'd be like, look, I got assaulted by some dude on TikTok. He poked me in the eye. People are going to look at you like you crazy. They're going to be like, oh, man. Oh, feel better. That's exactly what they're going to do. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, so I definitely know how it feels. So like once I changed up my whole thought process, even though it took me to the fourth exam, it's just like I studied like I was going to go all the way every single time. And then when I got to question 60, when I took my NCLEX during COVID, I was just like, man, like I hope my computer didn't freeze because they have all kinds of stuff that happens when you're going to take this exam. Like I hope my computer didn't freeze. And the next thing you know, it says, thank you. The test is complete. I'm like, what? So yeah, it was wild. It was crazy. So let me see what y'all talking about. When my computer shut off, I sat there and cried loud. Like you ugly cried. Like, man, like what happened? And the lady had to come in there and get me. Look, there's something about that exam that just really just destroys you. You're just like, bro, I don't know what the hell is going on here. Christine, 30 years ago, I did the first NCLEX. I did the first computer NCLEX study to make it make sense. 30, because what the first NCLEX on computer, I believe somebody told me was in 1994. Christine, did you tell me that? I think you told me that. What is that? Is that a fairy? I can't tell. That's a fairy said, oh my God. What'd you say oh my God for? Yeah, Christine. Yeah, Christine, you told me that. See, I remember folks that like to jump up in here. I was like, thank God when mine shut off. When mine shut off, I was just like, bro. Well, actually, the last time when it shut off, there's nothing that you could tell me. I already knew I knew I passed. There was nothing you could tell me. Because I walked out, I went to my favorite spot in San Antonio. It was Gino's Deli, and I got me a big ass like Philly steak and cheese. That was food. That's like food of champions. I'm just saying. That's what I went to go eat. And then I didn't do the Pearson View trick this time. And then I got my results while I was at the gym. And then that was short-lived. That lasted like 10 minutes. I'm like, I passed. Woo! I'm a nurse. Yeah. All right, what next? Literally. I was like, what next? Oh, it's wild. Like, it was always like that. It was like, okay, what do I do now? You know what I mean? So, I can't, that's funny. I can't believe you ugly cried. But then again, I've literally seen people go outside. I remember when I finished my test, I saw like 8 people sitting in their cars, just like heads on steering wheels. Heads were on steering wheels because they were just like contemplating my life. I don't know what to do. So, you know, good luck to what's her name? What's who name? What you mean? I can't wait to say I'm a nurse. Hey, Megan, you put in that work and you do everything that you're supposed to do. There'll be the day where you come and you call yourself a nurse. And then that day will welcome you, like all 16 people in here will welcome you with open arms. Oh yeah, user 99620. Like straight up. I don't like you're gonna do fine. Drink plenty of alcohol. No, you did not. Not me saying drink. I was like, yeah, drink plenty of water. Hey, first of all, Cash, you about to get. So one of the guys I follow on YouTube, he says, yo, you're about to get a 600, and 600 means you get 600 minutes, and 600 minutes means you get banned for 10 minutes. Ma'am, you want to get banned? You about to get a 600. That's exactly what you about to get. Okay. No, you didn't say drink plenty of alcohol the night before and only sleep about 2 hours, and don't be prepared. Not the alcohol. Oh my goodness. No, don't drink. She's being sarcastic, Christine. Don't be listening to Cass. She's gonna have you failing and crying and like ugly crying. Like Ratchet. I had my first grandbaby since we last talked. Oh, well, congratulations. Congratulations. Hey, everybody shout, hey, congratulations to Christine. She just had her first grandbaby. What'd you have? What'd you have? What's your grandbaby? A boy or a girl? Getting my bottle of Patron ready. Just wow. Hey, look, there ain't nothing wrong with celebrating afterwards. I ain't lying to you. I ain't lying to you. So, like, for me, it was short lived. It was during COVID. I had a lot of other things going on. 6 pound girl. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Babies are a blessing, except for when they're not. And they always are. My son, let me tell you, that dude, something else. I don't know where he gets it from. Don't know where he gets it from at all. So, but kids are definitely a blessing. So, like I said, congratulations to you. Man, I have been on here for a while. Definitely over an hour and a half because TikTok already told me, hey, congratulations, you've been on for 90 minutes. Keep talking. They love you. If they love me, TikTok, why don't I got 6,000 likes? Cats, make it happen. I love y'all. Anyways, so let's see what else is going on. So maybe some other people can agree with this, but I've seen, there's a nurse that was on here, 90 years old, celebrating 65 years working at bedside. Y'all, let me tell you something. The way that my back is set up, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm just saying. Because this article right here, if you go to nurse.org and you look at it, I'm telling you, 90-year-old nurse celebrates 65 years at the bedside. It says that she is a labor and delivery nurse. She continues to help new mothers and babies after an astounding 65 years as a nurse. That's crazy. Like what? She's like, she worked through polio. She worked through polio in 1954. Like, I'm kind of just skimming through it. But it says she currently works in labor and delivery. But I'm trying. It says she's fourth generation nursing. She worked through COVID, saw increased violence against nurses and workplace and healthcare workers. She said retirement is not in her vocabulary. What? Look. So it says that she works in labor and delivery now. I don't know exactly where she worked before, but it definitely says that she worked through polio in 1954. So like, that's crazy. I don't know. Honestly, I wonder if she's going to end up on like Nurse Alice's like podcast. I think that would actually be a really good thing for her to talk about. So yeah, crazy, right? I saw that. But she looks content she looks content. I mean, if she likes labor and delivery, like I always say, like if you're a nurse and you like those specific areas, go to where you want to be for sure. I'm gonna figure out how to get you a podcast. You should not be this funny. What you mean? First of all, I'm a damn comedian. All right, I don't know if you knew this, but I actually have been on a few podcasts. What's some podcasts that I've been on? I've been on Understanding the Nursing Game. I've been on Nursing Uncensored. I've been on Bottom Line Nursing. I've done 1, 2, 3 videos with Picmonic. You can actually go to Picmonic's YouTube, and I've done one with a young lady by the name of Kristen. And then I've done 2, and we've been specifically talking about NCLEX. I'm actually in the works right now of doing another video for Picmonic, talking about the new generation NCLEX. So that'll be coming out pretty soon too. I thought about doing a podcast, but I really love creating this course. But maybe sometime in the future, I might do a podcast. But hey, if you know of some podcasts that you want me on, you should you should ask people to be like, hey, I got this guy. He's really funny. You might like him. I'm just saying. Right? I'm gonna be the first guest. First of all, how you gonna determine that you're gonna be the first guest, Cass? Like, what's up with that? So she worked on the same floor her entire career? Look, I don't know. While you're out there, Picmonic is great. I love Picmonic. Like, I didn't learn about Picmonic until after I had already got my license. And then as I was going through it, I was like, man, their stuff is good. So I was like messing around on their content and messing around on all kinds of stuff. And then I made a review about them. And then I was just like, do I recommend them? Yeah. I mean, I don't shit on other reviews just because I'm making a review. Who am I to do something like that? If it works, it works. It may not be for you. Some people like it. Some people don't. But definitely like, yeah, I've been on I'm not saying a bunch, but I've been on some podcasts, talking to other people. Like I was on another podcast, the Real Talk School of Nursing, been on that one. Like I said, I did it for Picmonic. There's another one called Disgruntled Docs. That one's really a military one. I've been on a couple. It says yes, do it in the future. I will put in a word for you. Okay. Okay. I'll do that. Let's do pick lines. You want to do pick lines? You want to do pick lines, or you want to, or wound vacs or metaports? Like, I don't know. What do you mean? You want to talk about them? You can talk about them. Kaplan and Mark Klimek helped me pass NCLEX. Facts. Those are the exact two combinations of reviews that actually helped me pass my NCLEX. On top of, for me to get there, like I used Board Vitals, I used Saunders, I used UWorld, I used Hearst Review, I used a bunch of stuff. But it's just Kaplan and Mark Klimek were just the ones that worked for me. I used Mark Klimek's audio when I was not in front of a computer, but I used everything Kaplan. And honestly, it was Mark Klimek. It was Mark Klimek more than Kaplan, but it was the combination of Mark Klimek and Kaplan that gave me the inspiration to want to create an NCLEX course for everybody. Not for everybody, but for people that are prepping for their NCLEX. So let's teach PICS, ports, and VACs. I mean, we can. So here's the thing: like, if I teach PICS, ports, and VACs, I would want to be like in a school to do that. So here's another thing. For those that are just kind of coming in late, I actually got offered a teaching position, like an adjunct, as an adjunct instructor / simulations instructor. And I'm about 98% sure that I'm going to take it. Because I really, really love teaching. Like, I really enjoy especially the hands-on stuff. I love it. So it's about a 98% chance that I'm going to take it. So we will see. We'll see how that goes. That's amazing. I hope you're going for it. You would be a great professor. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. Like I said, I have a teaching background. I've been an educator since 2015. I was a surgical tech instructor for 3.5 years. And then I went to another place and I was teaching, and I became the trauma nurse course instructor. I taught advanced burn life support. I was an ACLS instructor, a BLS instructor. I think I said pre-hospital trauma life support, as well as the tactical combat casualty care. I was an instructor for that. So I was an instructor for a whole bunch of things. Didn't think that I would love teaching, but I'm telling you, I love teaching, to where I sit here, and I actually went to the National Council of State Boards of Nursing, and I went to the NCLEX test plan, and it's 54 pages, and I downloaded the PDF, and I sat here and I read it, and I'm just like, oh, well, not a lot is changing. It's just, blah, blah, blah. And I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. I don't like research, but I got to get used to that. So, but yeah, definitely teaching is where I want to go. Congrats, make us proud. Absolutely. Dave, look, I'm all about it. I'm all about going into the education system and making it better. I'm all about trying to make it better. So, all right. We've been hanging out for, like I said, longer than an hour and a half. So I appreciate everybody that stuck around. I think I'm going to call it a night here. We went over a couple things, but once again, I appreciate everybody being here. Another little shameless plug into, since we're getting off. My name is Kevin. I go by the Boot Nurse. I want everybody that's here to join me, as in you make sure you guys follow me on TikTok, follow me on everything else that you want to follow me on. Share it. Share this video. And I'm going to upload these videos onto YouTube. So if you know somebody that it may benefit, hey, send it to them. Tell them to come Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We're trying to foster a good nursing conversations here. All that good stuff. And then, constructive criticism, as well as ways for people to learn, about getting into nursing school, getting through nursing school, passing your exam, and then working as a nurse. That's what I like to talk about. I try to give people the raw honesty about it. And everybody's opinion is valid. Whatever opinion you have, make sure you guys shout it out and drop it in here. So if you know anybody that's starting school and would like to get an NCLEX course, check out the 7-day NCLEX course for $48. It's going for $48. 80% off. You get it forever. And it's in the pre-launch phase, so it's not complete, but for $48 and you pay one time. And then when it's done, you have the whole thing. That's including projection right now of 138 pieces of content on top of live Q&A with lectures. And then on top of that, new generation NCLEX or next generation NCLEX type of questions that are going to be in there for $48. Sounds like a no-brainer to me. And if it's not for you, share it with somebody else. You never know who might need it. All right. So, like I said, I'll call it a night. Thank you. You're welcome. Good night. Thanks, Kevin. You're also welcome. And make sure you guys hit that notification button for when I go live. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Peace.